with these colors. And with that, the freshman, Jacobson, wins the tip-off, the first freshman to start for the Boilermakers at center since 2007, 2008. That was Jawan Johnson. Before that, you have to go all the way back to the 80s to find another Braden Smith. Straight away doing what he wants to do this season, Max, score.
Those high ball screens from Jacobson have been lethal in the first couple games, the exhibition games they played, and against Corpus Christi. We'll see if Northern Kentucky changes their defense. When they played Texas A&M Corpus Christi, they doubled Smith on those high ball screens, allowing him to pass it off inside. We'll see what Northern Kentucky does to defend that.
Vincent doing a really nice job. Faked it the first time, gets the mid-range jumper to fall. And Max, it's obviously an electric atmosphere in here. And so for the Norse, I guess just having those nerves calm down and take that first big pressure from the Boilermakers.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing the ball fall in the bucket is definitely a good thing, as Jacobson ends up hitting the floor as he was fouled by a Tijere in the paint.
Yeah, holding his knee there, and he is still limping. So potentially we'll see Berg come in here, and he's going all the way off. We hope that isn't anything too serious, but the Swede is going to check into this game early. Those two are almost fighting for minutes right now, but you hate to see that for such a promising freshman.
Yeah, the knees just got tangled up in the paint with the Tijere, and obviously Jacobson's 7'4". It can be hard to manage your limbs when you're that tall, and obviously those tie-ups are gonna happen, and he's gonna head over to the locker room now as Berg checks in, and we'll probably get extended minutes this game.
Also maybe see Burgess as well, who declared that he won't be a red shirt this year on Sunday, and so the Boilermakers have so much depth in this team, as we see a nice one from the corner from Harris.
And it's those kickouts that have been super dangerous. Obviously, you have Braden Smith, who's such a good passer, but everyone on this team can pass. Fletcher Loyer can pass. Kaufman-Renn's a very good passer from the interior. Shakari Harris is a good passer.
Tijere puts that one up and gets over the head of Berg, and that's a big confidence booster to get it over the size disadvantage that he has. There's been some comparisons of this Boilermaker team to the Baby Boilers, maybe less so the youth, but more the fact that it is going to be that big three, Smith, Loyer, Trey Kaufman-Renn, who will bring the majority of the points. Dilling takes it to the top of the lane, gives it back to Robinson, who goes against Trey Kaufman-Renn. That's going to be a great battle this game. It looks like Robinson getting a slight moral victory there.
Yeah, that one took a tip on the pass right there, as we can see Robinson trying to cut it to the exterior. Loyer got his hand in there, stopping the pass to a Tijere on the, or rather not a Tijere, it was Gerziger on the ring.
Robinson, the Hamilton, Ohio native, had the team high 9 rebounds against FSU. He can produce from the 3 as well, but can also do it in the paint. Tijere can't make that 2 fall, and Smith will bring it up.
And those are the shots that you really need to hit if you're Northern Kentucky, if you want to keep in this game, because they double teamed on the low post, and Tijere was wide open for a really just short 7-foot hook shot, and he just couldn't hit it. Those are the shots that you need to hit if you're a Tijere.
Smith trying to drive around, and Tijere there finds Loyer on the weak side. Loyer puts that down. And Max, if the Boilermakers can spread the Norse, it should be a night where they can get things done, especially if Gerziger is going to do that.
Yeah, 3 for 3 to begin the game for Purdue from 3. I mean, when they have open looks like that, they need to take them, and that's what Loyer does. That's his game. He doesn't have to handle the ball that much with Braden Smith in the game and Shakari Harris in the game also.
The 75th sellout in a row here in Mackey Arena, and great atmosphere as always in the first Friday night game, so maybe adding to that slightly, and the paint crew in full voice as always. Loyer inside to TKR. Double team there, and really nice hands. Harris to Smith, he drives it in. And the big man, Berg, physically getting the edge there. on the Tigeray.
And there's the size difference right there. Berg sitting at 7'2". He's a strong 7'2" as well. And the Tigeray just couldn't pull that down as Berg just kind of reached over whoever it was in front of him.
Goretzka did a nice job of getting underneath the hoop. Wasn't able to put it down. Dilling, though, from the wing. And the Boilermakers giving the Norse a few extra chances here, but 3 chances and nothing coming from it there, Max.
Yeah, I mean, just struggling right now for Northern Kentucky. They're not really getting a ton of good looks, and the good looks they are getting, they're not hitting all that often. And really, Purdue has just been kind of swarming the ball and just swarming the passing lanes, making it just a little bit more uncomfortable. And that's something that they've done even as the team's inbounding the ball after they score. They want their point guards to press them, and they don't necessarily want them to steal the ball immediately, but at least feel the pressure so they set their offense up 21 seconds to go instead of 26.
The Mackey Arena faithful not happy about that call, as you could imagine.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
They've never been the top 25 team, though.
Understandably so. I mean, a mid-major team that does drop conference games pretty regularly, even if it is just a few. It is hard to get to break into that top 25 in the NCAA, especially being a new program like they are.
Goretzka was trying to get it into the corner to Pettis the second. It ends up, though, all the way back to Dilling, who's under really good pressure from Heidi. And the Tigeray into Robinson, who's actually got a height advantage there. Doesn't make the most of it. Out to Dilling. And the shot clock will reset.
Northern Kentucky's been doing a really good job on offense, forcing these switches and getting these mismatches in the paint, especially with Smith switching into the paint and guarding the likes of Trey Robinson or a Tigeray. But right now, they just aren't really taking advantage of it to the extent that they should.
It does almost feel, though, that was an opportunity they want back because Robinson was guarded by Smith under the bucket.
Yeah, and that one's kind of difficult because if you don't put that one up instantly like you saw right there, you're just going to get swarmed by 3-4 guys. And so the kick out isn't a terrible idea, but I mean, Dilling's got to make that shot. I mean, that's essentially what it boils down to. With how good of a shooter that he is, he needs to hit that shot when he's wide open.
Heidi thought about it in the corner. Painter said he wants to see Heidi take all those shots where he gets open. He's a great three-point shooter. They're looking to him to just get physical this season. Smith, no look pass to Colvin from the corner. And there, Max, the Norse get lucky, but a lot of players just looking at the ball.
Yeah, but it's been a pretty physical game and great find there into the paint as Robinson's able to finish that one off. But it's been a very physical game up to this point, and Northern Kentucky looks up to task. And Purdue, obviously, you play these Big Ten opponents like Purdue, and they're going to be more physical and more demanding. But Northern Kentucky, they look like they're into it right now.
This is the smallest starting five that the Norse are going to face against the Boilermakers tonight, with Jacobson obviously out the rest of the evening. Berg off the court and Burgess out. First can't get that one to fall, and picked up by Pettis the second.
Very good footwork down in the key from First, just not able to get the left-handed finish to go.
Goretzka, front and center, puts that one down. The Norse are doing a nice job of finding space, Max, but maybe some of the movement off the ball could improve.
Yeah, and Purdue really has not, they have not scored in the last 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's see if I just jinxed it. I did not. But they haven't scored in a long time, and that's kind of one of those things that, when you leave the starting lineup for Purdue, where does the point production come from? Obviously, we talked about Smith wanting to be more of an active scorer on the team, but right now it just isn't falling.
Out of all the players out there right now, you think Colvin especially is going to have to step up and sink some shots, putting some good pressure on Dilling, but jinxed him a little bit. And I think Dilling was shocked how much space he got around the corner.
Yeah, miscommunication on the switch. They got lucky that Dilling missed that one.
Smith getting double teamed. Beautiful pass around the back. And Colvin from the wing. Never really had a chance. Miles Colvin, a career high 14 points, 4 for 4 from 3 to start the scoring. And that was a game where it was still tight. The Boilermakers just 1 point ahead when he made that first three, and then he just went on a torrent of threes. The Norse now 7-0 in the last 3:25.
Yeah, and Purdue just can't find one right now. I mean, they've had inside looks that were good, just couldn't find the bucket. They've had threes that looked good, couldn't find the bucket. There's an offensive foul on Tijeray, and that's going to be his third.
Tijeray getting his feet caught up there with Cox off the ball. Just moving his feet slightly on the screen there. Tijeray, a Knightdale, North Carolina native, junior, big player that last year got injured down the stretch, and that was a big loss as obviously the Norse got ready to go into the Horizon League tournament. Sophomore year came in from Marquette and needs to watch his fouls in this situation. Vincent, really nice steal against his fellow number 2, Loyer, on that far side. And that fires up the Norse bench.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Championship this season with Ty, Coach Katie with 6.
What a shot from Dilling. Oh my goodness. I mean, that was a prayer, and he somehow hit that.
Well, right now, the Norse just 7 points back, and every moment seem to be gaining more confidence. Pass inside from Harris to TKR. Good pressure, though, from the Lithuanian. And Loyer once again open on the weak side. But the foul is called.
Yeah, Pettis picks up that foul on the reach on Loyer, who's trying to kick it out. Look at this shot from Dilling. Oh, my goodness. Twisting and turning around Trey Kaufman-Renn, putting up with the left hand. I mean, Josh Dilling, we know he's got a weird jump shot, but oh, my goodness, I didn't think that he'd hit that.
Sometimes you just got to pray.
Sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good.
Well, I'm a testament of that. So we see here Loyer going to the line. And that one bounces in and out and picked up by Wells. The Eclair, Wisconsin native. Big jump expected from him this year, looking to just get him more aggressive. Can be a guy that's a consistent double-double getter. He's having a pretty solid game right now.
Yeah, Smith pulled down that rebound for Purdue, and he's played every single second of this game thus far.
Nice hands there, finds Smith open at the top of the arc. And no question when it comes to Smith.
Yeah, 2 for 4 from range for Braden Smith this game. Not quite the stats he put up in the full game versus the Islanders a couple days ago, but he's getting there.
Pettis, the second, couldn't get that one to fall at the top of the paint. Loyer thought about it from that corner where he's found himself a home this game. Some hands coming in there from Pettis, and the referee agrees with me.
Yeah, Pettis is not going to get away with that. He's doing it for way too long. Just trying to get leverage with Kaufman-Renn, just kind of hit him in the head, the hand, the arm.
Like a boxing match.
Yeah, it'd probably be easier to name the places where he didn't get Kaufman-Renn other than the ball.
Pettis the second, the Sema City, North Carolina native. All freshman Horizon team last year. Off the bench with 12 points last game. And that's only the 4th time in his career that he's got over 10 points. Last season had that huge game-tying buzzer beater in the Horizon League quarterfinals, which would see the Norse get the victory in overtime over Wright State. But Max, the Norse showing themselves very well on defense, but it's interesting because we've seen the Boilermakers, especially Loyer, get open on the weak side a lot, and maybe Purdue just needs to get a bit more confidence and take that first-time shot.
Yeah, I mean, they've caused 5 turnovers. That's kind of their bread and butter. At least it was last season. They averaged over 8 steals a game, which is very, very good. I think it was top 50 in Division I.
1 second to go. Vincent puts it up. forced more than anything. But the pressure good from the Boilermakers. Burgess comes back in. Colvin getting in the air like a homesick angel. And a beautiful touch to get some points.
Yeah, smart pass there. They're playing at a really quick pace, not something that you're typically used to seeing with Purdue.
Well, it feels that when this game speeds up, it favors the Boilermakers, so maybe Purdue looks to try and speed the tempo up. Loyer getting down and dirty. Pettis the second, though, finds it, and the Lithuanian will finish the job. Under a minute to go now in a half, which has been, I think, more than interesting, Max.
Yeah, it's been kind of a weird one for both teams. Purdue has really finished it out stronger than they started it, that's for sure. Obviously going scoreless for almost 7 minutes.
Colvin from the corner, count it! And Miles Colvin starts to come alive here late in the first half.
Yeah, Colvin up to 5 points now. It's his first 3 of the day. Purdue shooting 6 of 13 from range, and they'll probably get the last shot.
It seems that finally in the close here, the Boilermakers waking up and remembering that they can score. 22 seconds left to go in this one. CJ Cox checks in on the baseline there behind Vincent. Vincent with that wrapping, post-ACL injury wrapping on his knee. He tore it last season, and the Norse fans will be very happy to have him back. Robinson goes against the young freshman Burgess, out to Pettis the second. Norse would have liked that one, but Robinson gives him an extra chance and finally is fouled there. Great fight from the Hamilton, Ohio native.
Yeah, Robinson getting down and dirty on the offensive glass, fighting Raleigh Burgess for that offensive rebound. Pettis had a decent look, but long rebound. Robinson pulled it down, and Burgess right across the arm. And Robinson will go to the line to shoot 2.
Burgess just getting his back caught behind Robinson. Robinson, the vocal team leader, 33 points last year in that same Horizon League semi-final, the preseason All-League Horizon. And then also in that 23-24 season, Horizon Defensive Player of the Year, and we see some of that fight here in West Lafayette. Makes that one. So the Boilermakers with 4.7 will actually take a timeout. They want to make the most out of these final moments, and it just shows it's that kind of game. You know, they're concerned maybe in that second half they slow down again, Max.
Yeah.
You mentioned it, they put the threes up. They just have to get that percentage out of the 20s as Smith sends one from down range, but just hitting the backboard. So that is it, 37-24, Max. Historic gold, and the Norse in the all black. Loyer, lots of space here, and that's how you start the second half.
And that's the exact way you don't want to start at Northern Kentucky, as head coach Darren Horn just kind of bent over and started talking to the bench. He just couldn't understand just how free Fletcher Loyer was.
Loyer found himself open quite a lot. Really nice play there by TJ, who we saw less of in the end of that first half, given that he was starting to get into foul trouble.
Yeah, TJ playing more like a center in hockey there, kind of just deflecting it back in. It wasn't the greatest alley-oop pass, but he was able to knock it in for 2.
I think the correct word for that one is it was a cheeky play.
I suppose.
Yeah, Max hates when I say that, but you know. We see a travel call there on TKR.
And right now for Northern Kentucky, they've just got to keep playing solid defense. I mean, right now they're making Kaufman-Renn uncomfortable in the paint. I mean, he hasn't had a heck of a lot of attempts, field goal attempts. He's had a lot of free throws, but otherwise they need to keep Trey Kaufman-Renn a little bit further away from the bucket. And then obviously the offense has to start picking up a little bit as well.
The Boilermakers in the Latter part of that first half, playing with slightly less size. Berg in there right now. And up to Atijere, tries to put it on the head of the Swede, unable to do so. Smith dives under it. And the shot clock will reset back to 20.
I didn't think Atijere he even had a chance of putting that in with how far away he was from the bucket, but he's got that really long wingspan, so he almost put that in on Berg, but good interior defense.
Great double team there. Not one you want to be in, but it means space is elsewhere, and Dilling finds it straight through the lane. Atijere extremely athletic, as you've just seen there. He got airborne well over Will Berg's head. He likes to go for those short corner jumpers.
Yeah, that was a really sweet breakout of that double team in the low post and finding Dilling, who's had trouble getting going this game.
Berg tries to maybe get some respect back from Atijere, but he goes down. The foul in the end is called, and the ball decides that it's needing a break itself and stays up there.
Yeah, kind of an unfortunate one there for Berg. Just couldn't get it to fall quite as he was falling away from the bucket through the contact, and Braden Smith and Fletcher Loyer were telling one of the referees, hey, I think he got fouled there. Quite honestly, I don't think I have an argument against that either.
When it comes to the Boilermakers three bigs, Berg's the one that has the most aggression. Goretzka from deep, unable to get it to fall, and Harris gets airborne and secures it. Berg, though, just needs to show a bit more of that aggression here, because right now, Atijere is getting slightly more on him. And that's the fourth foul, and the commentator's curse on Atijere.
Yeah, good spin move there to get past Robinson, and Atijere had to come in and help. Not sure I'm in love with the call, considering it was his fourth, but the call is made nonetheless, and Atijere is now back out of the game. He's only played 12 minutes, and he's got 4 fouls.
That means that Paulius Rapolis will come in. He's getting a lot more minutes than what he did against FSU. That not being difficult, given that he didn't play against FSU. I was looking at the wrong thing when I said that. But again, a big moment to come in here and get your first start for the Norse. Robinson trying to get the Lithuanian to make a move, fakes it to Goretzka, finds Vincent, who finds Rapolis, and Smith guards him there, and Smith on the breakaway.
That one just kind of bobbled out of the hands of Rapolis and couldn't quite contain it.
Smith from the wing, puts it up, and unable to put it down though. It checked the whole rim and checks out. Goretzka, you can see some of that really nice ball handling skills. Nice screen there from Robinson, but Goretzka elects to take it in, maybe doing a little bit too much, and gives the Boilermakers the ball back.
Goretzka's really good at finding space where he really shouldn't, kind of fitting through those tight, narrow windows.
Loyer takes that one from Smith and takes the 3 points back to the other end. Loyer's done a really nice job this game of finding space on the weak side.
Yeah, Loyer 4 for 5 from deep. Got 14 in this game. He's been a big part of the offense. Obviously, he had 21 against Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and now up to 14 in this one.
Just like we saw at the end of that first half, the game speeding up and going against the Norse. They need something here. Berg gets up. Vincent somehow takes it out of his hand, gets the ball back, and Berg swats him down, but there's a foul already.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate there for Will Berg, who tried to come down with that rebound, but he just got swarmed and couldn't pull it into his body.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
So if they keep crashing the glass and keep trying to press these Purdue centers that, you know, may not have to jump for the ball necessarily just because they're so tall, but, you know, that's the kind of thing that if you're jumping and they're not, well, you're probably going to get that rebound.
Matt Payne has scheduled a hard non-conference go at it before Big Ten play starts. The likes of Alabama coming up, and you can't help but think if this was against Alabama, what would the scoreline be? Luckily for the Boilermakers, though, still time in this game to sort things out, and time before the Bama game as well. Dilling from deep. That one falls to left. Tigeray, an athletic play to get his hands on it, but it will go out of bounds.
Yeah, Dilling again just not hitting from deep. 1 of 5 this game, 3 of 10 from the field generally. Just has not really looked comfortable in his first 2 games at the Division I level.
Smith finds Cox on that far side. He drives in. A foul's called. It's an offensive foul. Off the ball on Will Berg.
Yeah, that one was fairly obvious. He just took a full arm extension, hit a Tigeray right in the face as he was trying to close down on the defensive end. Again, just kind of a silly foul for Berg to take. I mean, it was wide open, or otherwise the pass would have just gotten dumped right into his lap.
So as we fall under the 10-minute mark, it's now time for the Norse to do something if they can. Robinson fires it over to Vincent. Dilling finds some space. Beautiful speed by Smith, though, to close him down. Almost a travel, still moving around. Dilling. Tigeray just absolutely flies into the paint. Just can't get his hands on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a Tigeray could touch 12 feet with his vertical and his wingspan.
And that is exactly what the Boilermakers needed to liven up this offense. Beautiful pass there into Robinson. Berg try to come forward, and in the end, a foul is called.
Yeah, Berg has been struggling with keeping his feet on the ground, and that's one of the things that the coaches on the bench are doing, is you can just see him just jumping in the air trying to block it. I don't think he remembers that he's 7'2". He can block the ball off of anybody without even jumping. You just got to keep his hands up and just try and alter the shot, not necessarily block it.
Talking to Purdue earlier, they just said that, you know, Will Berg helped improve Edey. Obviously, he was the person that Edey went against every practice, and so Will Berg's got it in him to get physical. He's obviously learned a lot from that 2-time player of the year. Just now needs to get used to this more playing time, get settled.
Yeah, and Braden Smith is checking out for the first time in this game. He's played for 32 straight minutes, finally getting a rest on the bench.
And Max, maybe now a time for Northern Kentucky to make something of the 5 that are on the court for the Boilermakers right now, because you haven't got Burgess out there, you haven't got Berg. First and Heidi are the biggest. Cox trying to find some space, looks for his freshman partner, finally gives it to Harris, and Harris tries to go against the Lithuanian. Turning and burning, puts that one up, puts it down, and that's a nice move by the freshman.
Yeah, Harris just getting a little bit of space there, and foul is called on the hold as Goresger tried to get past him, but really good move from Harris, finding the space easily.
Well, before Tigeray forgot about gravity and put it on the head of Burgess, I was saying that this is the second Horizon League game played in Mackey Arena this week. The women for the Boilermakers played Purdue Fort Wayne also in that league, as Robertson sends that one from deep, and that was a game where the Boilermakers had a good lead, and Purdue Fort Wayne clawed their way back into it. So you never know. You've said it, Max. It's a gritty league with teams that don't stop fighting, and we'll see with 7:11 left to go. Can the Norse buy themselves a treat?
Yeah, and it's been uncharacteristically poor game from the Norse, just shooting-wise. I mean, they didn't perform great against Florida State, but it was not to this level of poorness. That's going to be a jump ball, and it will go the direction of Purdue, so they will keep possession.
Loyer was screaming for a timeout the entirety of the scramble on the floor. The ref didn't hear him, but in the end, luckily for the Boilermakers, they hold on to the ball. And with 20-point lead, Max, you think maybe Purdue was going to start stretching their legs. Kaufman-Renn can't hold on to that one. Puts it into Loyer. He thinks about it. Inside to first, and first. Height dominance over Pettis the second, and gets the 2 points.
Yeah, Loyer got very lucky that Kaufman-Renn was able to recover and grab that one after it was tipped. It was a poor inbound pass, but ultimately ends in 2 for Purdue, and Caleb First getting his first bucket of the game.
Robinson nearly forgetting the ball there, but it's picked up by the Lithuanian Pivaris. Puts that shot up, the rebound taken by Robinson. Pettis the second gets in there, and then finally the foul's called. I did have to weave myself there, trying to get around the referee on the sideline.
Once again, it's just more offensive rebounds for Northern Kentucky. I mean, they're up to 14 for the game right now, and I mean, 14 offensive rebounds, and you only have 40 points. Something's going wrong, and it's mainly the second chance points. They just have not been coming. Shooting 30% from the field. They were shooting 7 of 8 from free throws until they missed that one. Now it's 7 of 9.
The paint crew starting to cry for French fries. If he misses this one, they get him. And that's the loudest roar of the night. And it's because everybody in here is getting some free French fries. Max, dinner's on me.
Very kind of you.
That's the least I could do. Harris had some space in the corner there first, dispossessed by Pettis the second. He's got Goretzka on the right-hand side, spins around Loyer. And here's the problem. They do nice plays, the Norse, and then just don't have anybody off the ball, especially lower down.
But that was really good transition defense, and Atijere has just fouled out for the illegal screen. As he was just way too wide on that one. You can see it's just way too wide, extends with the hip. That one's going to get called pretty much every time. And so, unfortunately for Atijere, no more basketball for him tonight.
The paint crew helping Atijere find his seat there. A shame, really, because such an explosive, athletic player. He's been one of the highlights in terms of offense for both sides tonight.
He's been the North's best player today, at least in my opinion, without a doubt. I mean, he's been fantastic on the defensive end. On the offensive end, he's really made things happen in the second half. I mean, right now, Northern Kentucky is just struggling to do anything right now. They're one of their last 10. They haven't scored in the last 2.5 minutes. Atijere was really bringing that kind of flair that they needed, that spark.
Caleb First having a nice go at it here. I thought he was actually going to slam it on the head of Trey Robinson, but rolled it in instead, and that's going to get this Boilermaker faithful going first. Up to Trey Kaufman-Renn, nearly the chance for a good-looking transitional play, unable to do it. Caleb First, one of the reasons that the Boilermakers had so much success last year. Him and players like Mason Gillis happy to come in off the bench when they could easily go other places and start. And Matt Painter spoke a lot about that last year, but great to see Caleb First still here and getting some minutes, and some good minutes at that. And it feels in the last few minutes, the Boilermakers finally just waking up a bit, looking to try and close this one out as we fall below the 5-second mark.
Yeah, Purdue has not been playing up to their, what they would consider their average level today. It's kind of been a sloppy game. 12 turnovers apiece for both teams. That's way too many for a Purdue team that, I mean, granted, Northern Kentucky does force a lot of turnovers. It's been a lot more sloppy play than it has been Northern Kentucky playing really tremendous defense.
Two situations there where maybe the Norse just need to let it go. Under 2 seconds. Pettis the second checks up, but it's all rim. Cox on the rebound. That's a beautiful pass from Harris. Loyer goes up, and that place roars. And that's more what you expect from this Boilermaker team.
Yeah, fantastic find there from Jakari Harris on the almost hook shot pass. That was to Loyer, and finding him there.
Yeah. It flows through.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, that's the difficulty of losing a 2-time National Player of the Year, especially a guy that's as big and strong as Zach Edey is, you know, it's not like he was exactly a plug-and-play type of guy as a point guard or super mobile, as Vincent hits a nice three there from the corner. But, yeah, I mean, it's just the transition phase, and, you know, obviously Purdue's got a lot of guys that they think can fill the void. And, you know, like I said earlier, Trey Kaufman-Renn definitely was overshadowed as first gets called for the illegal screen, but Trey Kaufman-Renn was definitely overshadowed by Zach Edey, but he's a very good player. I mean, and nobody was really surprised in this Purdue program that he stepped up immediately and was a driving factor in the wins that they've had.
And also we have to remember, obviously, Jacobson hasn't played, well, at all, apart from that first possession where he had that knee-to-knee contact and went out and came back out on crutches. So you have to keep in mind maybe this is a slightly different game with Jacobson in the fray. That's a beautiful takeaway there by Cox. He sends it to his freshman counterpart, and Harris spins that around. Somehow Cox has got to the other side and kept it in, and you're getting to look at what this pair of freshmen are going to do for the next 4 years. Cox had some space to shoot there, doesn't do it. Another beautiful pass from Harris, and first finishes it off. That's two nice passes, Max.
Yeah, Jakari Harris is definitely a guy that they've brought in, and he is a great ball handler, skilled passer. I mean, he has been kind of what they need in the absence of Braden Smith. If Braden Smith is out of the game, Jakari Harris needs to come in and do his job.
Josh Dilling kind of showing the story of the game for the Norse. They find those threes, but when they send them, it's more than anything, just not enough heat. Harris checks up and nearly gets that one. This time, though, too much heat on it. That somehow rolls all the way to Josh Dilling. Robinson found himself on the outside, not somewhere that he's found himself too much, Max, given that he's been working quite a bit in the paint.
Yeah, for sure, and, you know, it just continues to, you know, Robinson, the closeout from first, tried to get him to jump, didn't get it, pushed him to the sideline, got lucky as he was fouled. But now Northern Kentucky back to the line in what is essentially a formality role here as Bradley Burgess comes back in.
So Robinson goes to the line, 2:26. This one all but done in favor of the Boilermakers. I think for Purdue fans, Max, they'll be happier to see what's happened in the closing stages of this game, because from the middle of the first half to the middle of the second, it wasn't exactly pretty. Great defense, though.
Yeah, a lot more active on the defensive end, and, you know, more active hands, getting a lot more steals and forcing turnovers from Northern Kentucky, but that's not the brand of basketball that they really play. And it's a little bit different. Maybe that's intentionally different, not sure, but it's just one of those things that you do have to take the positives, but you got to learn from the negatives, and there were certainly some negatives this game. And, you know, you've got to work out those kinks heading into the really, really difficult games coming up with Alabama at home, and then you're going to go away and go play Marquette.
Cox checks up. Not able to get that one to fall first. Gets the board and gets the points. He's had a really nice closing to this game. Dilling finally sends one, holds it, but that won't make it go in. The Lithuanian put under a lot of pressure. Nice hands, though, there, and a fellow Lithuanian will put it in. So from one countryman around the horn to the other, a good-looking play and an example of what this Norse team can do when they do get going.
Yeah, as long as they keep rebounding and, you know, crashing the offensive glass, that's definitely going to be a plus for them. I mean, they've definitely been the beneficiary of some long rebounds today, but that's the brand of basketball they play. They take deep shots, you're going to get long rebounds.
Colvin had a look, but can't see it in. Goretzka and Colvin, it's a matchup maybe we would have wanted to see a little bit more this game, but it's had some moments. You see it there again. You see a foul and you see the frustration of Colvin, and that's a good sign, right, Max, about this team, is the fact you're up, the game's done. But again, you know, you're very frustrated in your actions, and maybe an indication of how much, you know, these players are fighting for minutes right now.
Yeah, and it's, you know, sloppy cleanup fouls like that, you know, ultimately they don't matter right now. I mean, the game's of, you know, the result's of formality. It's 70-48, but it's those types of fouls that Well, if you give those away in a 2-point, 3-point, 4-point game with 4 minutes left, that's not a good thing, obviously, and especially when the other team's in bonus. But it just goes to the, the mental grind that it is to get into this Purdue team regularly. And Miles Colvin has really been working. He really proved himself against the Islanders a couple days ago. But, this game, not a lot of people have really taken advantage of it to show why they should be playing more.
With Smith playing so much of this game, we didn't see Harris and Cox on the court together too much, but when we did, really nice sparks. Cox unable to get that one to go, and on the rebound, you see Burgess there, get physical. Interestingly, there at the end, you see there's Rapolis giving him a hug.
Yeah, it's just one of those frustrating things. First got his hands on it, trying to get the offensive rebound. Then Burgess got the rebound, couldn't get it in, and jump ball goes away to Northern Kentucky.
Pavorius checks. And as we fall under 30 seconds, the Boilermakers will have the chance to just close this one out. Burgess thought about it. Cam Heide will drive in, tries to make a highlight reel play, but gets denied.
It's that unfettered aggression that we usually see from Cam Heide with the basketball. He's been trying to go at it a little bit more at the end of this game, but obviously drawing the foul and getting 2 free throws for himself.
Would have loved to have seen Burgess hit that 3 there. He had the space. He really thought about it, but fires it into the corner. He can make them. I mean, that's the interesting thing, Max, about all of the bigs for the Boilermakers. Burgess, Jacobson, Berg, they can all hit 3s, so who knows if this team morphs into something that maybe the Celtics are doing, of having everybody outside the arc and sending it in.
Yeah, and that's kind of the way that modern basketball is going. It's a very perimeter-oriented game now, as the Purdue fans are getting into it for the last couple seconds as there's a clock issue. The clock started when it shouldn't have. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of where the modern game is going. But, Purdue is kind of untraditional in the sense that they still kind of play around a big man in the middle.
There wasn't too many questions about whose house it was tonight. The Norse put up a great fight, had the chance to get close. They got it within 7. But that's as close as they came to sniffing out a win from the Boilermakers, who will move to 2-0 against the Norse. But, Max, I think it's a really great opponent to bring in here by Matt Painter to force the Boilermakers to get physical and fight out for a win.
Yeah, for sure. And, Northern Kentucky, they did put up a fight. They're a good team. It just wasn't their day. And, that's just an effect of coming into a very hostile environment that, like Mackey, and, when you're not completely on your game, you might get blown out, unfortunately. And so that's the 28th consecutive win, non-conference home win for Purdue.